When you go to a range, you'll probably see a list of range rules, and they are pretty all-encompassing. The four main rules we want to think about, though, and they apply to every situation, are: one, always treat the gun as if it's loaded. Two, never allow the muzzle, the end of the barrel that the bullet comes out of, to cover anything you don't want to shoot or destroy. Three, keep your trigger finger indexed on the frame until you've made the decision to shoot the gun and have the sights on the target. And four, be certain of your target and what's beyond it or what's around it. All of them are important. It would be hard to say that one is more important than the other. But if we want to focus just on number two, the part about not allowing the muzzle to cover anything we're not prepared to destroy, well, first of all, we have to think about, well, that includes us as well as anything else. So we always keep the gun in a firing grip if it's not in the holster, and that gives us this awareness of where the muzzle is pointed. I know it's not pointed at my feet. I know it's not pointed at any part of my body. I know it's not pointed at anybody who might be down that way. It's pointed at a certain spot on the ground, and I'm comfortable with that because I have a locked wrist and a firing grip on the gun. It's not going to go off anyway because my finger's indexed and not on the trigger. So, the rules sort of complement each other. If rule 3 is about keeping our finger indexed on the frame here, that's really important. If I have my finger just off the trigger and I were to trip or stumble or fall, then I'm going to naturally clench up. That's called the human startle response, part of the human startle response. And so I'm going to fire the gun if I do that. So I want to have my finger indexed on the frame. That way, if I trip or stumble or I'm surprised or whatever, I just tighten my finger up on the frame and the gun doesn't fire. So the rules complement each other. But if the gun is not in the holster, it should be held in a ready position where the muzzle is pointed in a safe direction. If I make the decision to shoot something, a target or person, then my finger stays indexed until the sights are on the target, and then they come off the frame and go to the trigger. And I fire as many times as necessary. Once it's no longer necessary to fire, then I take the sights off of the target and my finger goes back to the index point. If I have to put the gun back in the holster, then I have enough muscle memory and enough practice where my finger stays indexed and doesn't go on the trigger. On the other hand, if I'm excited, I haven't trained properly, I don't have this built-in muscle memory, and I go to put the gun in the holster now, then I'm going to discharge the gun into the holster and I'm going to shoot myself. And so we want to make sure that we have that proper training, because I got a feeling if we've just shot somebody, our mind is going to be on a whole bunch of things and probably not focused on where that finger is. So we have to train ahead of time to where our finger knows where to go by itself with unconscious confidence.